You're figuring it out. Yeah. I like their meat. But their sides are great.
These really like the wallabies. Their style. That's it. Okay. Oh. You gotta do a good way. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's.
Here's him. Yep, you guys can. You should be able to hear. He just muted himself. Okay. He's probably like.
Chris, can you sing a song to make sure we can hear you getting loud and clear? Can't hear you.
Chris, unmute yourself.
Can't hear you, but you gotta start singing.
I think I just muted myself while I was trying to unmute myself. I'm trying to find the camera program. I think we can actually show it on the screen here. I just can't remember the cloud-based login. You might just have to do show and tell on your phone, Ted.
You want to tell on the phone?
In XWVMS. X.
You're on. Yeah, I can't record there, so. Oh, you like, sorry.
Oh, name Parker 705. Right there. Call for the approval of last meeting minute. I move for approval. Favor say aye. So, Chris, we'll turn the time to you for city budget. Do we need to see numbers here? You on? Or you on?
I'm just taking note. I'm not on the.
Are we okay without seeing the number?
We get on the Zoom is what he's asking.
Is Jody still there?
She walked out.
Needs to enable sharing so I can share a couple things.
Sharing from there.
Yeah, but you can log into the Zoom link. You can log
Oh,
into
you're not
the Zoom link and then you can see it right on your own device. Ted knows how, huh?
No, I'm just looking. Share here.
Like most engineers, they just kind of pretend.
We need you.
Well, clicking on one participant can share at a time.
Yeah, so go to the one that says multiple. Go to the next one down.
In progress.
All right, there we go.
There we go. You're a genius.
We're gonna see. Stickles.
Okay, so is that pulling up a budget of sorts? Are you guys looking at a laptop or should you have it hooked up to the TV?
Hold on, Chris, we're just about there.
Okay.
You're muted again, Chris.
It's okay. I was yelling at somebody to shut a door. Oh, give me some more extension there. Hold on.
It's not a live link. Did it?
Okay, I'm muted.
You want to actually just turn the.
Turn your
audio
sound
off.
down.
Do not connect to audio at all. Otherwise, it's going to cause circular feedback.
If you did, you could hit your mute up here on your computer.
What do I do here? I just muted it on here.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Well, I can hear you guys a lot better now too.
Can you hear me okay, Chris?
I can hear you loud and clear, and Tim, I can hear you perfectly.
It's better up here than that microphone over there. Rick are getting some feedback.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay,
You
so,
can mute right here.
okay,
Can you still get feedback? Yeah.
That's just muting his output. It's not muting his input. That's why you can't connect to audio at all.
so then we go here, right?
So is it a Zoom? In the Zoom settings, you want to change your audio settings. and
Okay,
rather
just
than
go
a
to
computer,
there.
you just
That one
don't.
go around.
You know, those dots, it should be
Right there.
what to disconnect. No, that wasn't what, the right line. Sorry.
Yeah, we are getting feedback. So
Mine
I,
had three little dots that where you click and you could disconnect the audio.
Put that right there. That should make it bigger. Okay, now go down to the bottom.
Yeah, cover the password again.
Yes, WH 26.
Yes,
but it's beyond here.
Yes,
There it is.
okay.
Yes,
Many parts
WH.
kind of get hidden.
Yes, put that up right there. Yes, WH 2016.
No.
This right,
Yeah, no special connectors.
what, this one?
Yes, exactly. What's up your menu? bar? Yeah.
Oh, there we
Now
go.
we're here to
Right over here. Right there.
mute that one, see if that helps.
Says I'm already muted.
There, if you click that right there.
It's the Zoom settings itself.
We good?
Can't expand the. Except.
Chris, can you still hear me?
Yes.
I think we're good to go. Good.
Okay, can you guys see the budget that's up? This is, can you see the budget that's on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the last council meeting we had on June 11th, I believe it was, Janet. That
Yeah.
the council opened up both the 20. The what?
That was just somebody logging in.
Okay,
I
the,
have to get mine to log in. That's great. Keep going.
okay. Where the council voted on the 2024 budget revisions and voted on the 2025 year budget. Now, they'd looked at the 2025 year budget previously at 2 or 3 other council meetings, but this was the official public hearing for both the 2024 and the 2025. So in the agenda, you said you wanted just a briefing on how the department numbers came in line with submitted actuals. And because this year we lost 2 key employees and switched them with 1 key employee, those budgets all kind of went out the window somewhat. What Corbett had in mind and thoughts that he had in mind were replaced with the new thoughts that Ted had with some engineering data to back it up. So as far as roads and budgets, that we're coming underspent on just about everything this year. Little overspent on fire, but that was due to getting the new fire truck and getting a loan. We had to bring the revenue in, but then also show an addition in expenses. But really, for the most part, this year we're carrying over quite a bit of money, and that is in due. 100,000 of that is due to all the assets that we sold this year. A chunk of it is due because we are. Ted was not ready to implement road strategies until he got the engineering firms back and their help and decision on what's the best method now to keep our roads maintained. And he presented that last night at the city council. So from 2024 revised budget to 2025 city council budget. So we're going to be basically looking at these two columns. We're going to be carrying over roughly $750,000. Phenomenal? Yes. If that happened every year, we would definitely need to look at reducing the tax rate to the citizens because that's just not right and fair to carry that much over. However, because we didn't implement many of the plans this year, that's falling right in line and appropriate with where we're ending up. The good news is for 2025, we'd originally looked at having another truth and taxation hearing to raise property, not to raise property taxes, but to keep the property tax rate level. But in reality, now that we've got those 17 homes that we were working on the past couple of years finally closed and their tax rates in, the rate that the state is proposing to us is actually bringing in $16,000 more than we were anticipating with having a truth and taxation hearing, meaning there's no raise in the rate that the state is giving us. Will citizens see a raise in their property taxes? Probably, but that could be due to the assessor's office. That could be due to Nebo School District if they're raising taxes, Central Utah Water, whatever. But overall, the budget came in really good. Ted's got a phenomenal plan that he presented last night with some engineers on how to maintain the roads. And we're going to use a good chunk of that, $750,000 on the roads starting after July 1. Don't know if that's killing number 3 and number 4, if there's any further discussion on those agenda items.
You guys have any questions? Who's the cat? I can't see anything. I already looked. Can't tell who it is. Do you guys have any questions on the budget? Kind of hard. I think if you could turn your audio back on, you could hear it better.
Well, the audio.
You could also move over here so you can hear him better.
So what was the carryover?
Scoot in this corner, come sit on this corner. Come closer to Chris so you can hear.
So we are looking at
3/4 of a million.
yes, we're going to move roughly $60,000 over to capital projects so we can stay within the state mandated threshold of 3 to 18% or whatever we're going to do this year, 25%. But
hear that?
overall,
Say that again, Chris, sorry.
no, you're fine. We're going to move 458,537 over to the roads capital projects this year. So I'm trying to get that highlighted, but it's not working. Plus,
You've got 130.
we wanted to keep enough in the budget so we didn't go over any budget categories, but on the back end, it's about $750,000 we're going to carry over to next year. Now, if we're sitting here this time next year and we have $750,000, we'll need to have a different discussion, but I don't anticipate that. Ted, do you, with the projects coming up?
No, we can easily spend out.
Road.
If we got enough road work. So just get, we're looking at road project. It's gonna be- These, well, it's micro sealing about 4 miles. So, you got, that feel or something else, but you can chip them. But similar to a chip seal, doesn't involve chip and everything, it's, they blend it up. These are very chip. And it's gonna sound a little bit against what I think we should be doing. Like Chris had mentioned, we get a pavement management. All of our roads. Treatments to apply to, which is gonna cause. Effective. The only thing here is, pavement management. Always suggest you take your best road. Treatments to go, save those. Happy to first. That way, I mean, because if you wait, if we've got 4 miles of really good road. We can put Microsoft still on those road, that looks like. In the meantime. Then we can kind of start addressing it and get towards the work road, all this was. We start on the work, and we can afford to complete at least one block of loss this year. That's that. Got much of.
We're in good shape, Chris.
Yes, we're in good shape this year and starting out for 2025. It's also looking really good. And it's been nice to have a plan in place. And not a plan for 2 months or 12 months, but a plan for many years. And how are we going to tackle that and how are we going to get it funded? And as this pavement management plan continues to develop and get finalized and voted on by the city council, we'll be able to start getting those numbers to this committee here, and we can start seeing, okay, look, we need 300,000 this year. We're going to need 500,000. What are we going to do with property taxes, or what are we going to cut, or what are we going to look at reducing?
So the goal this year is to not increase property taxes. So our mill rate, we're gonna keep it the same. Now, that doesn't mean taxes won't go up, because if the county value the homes more, or if they are charging more for schools or something like that. But it won't be within the city increasing it. So.
Correct.
Yeah, we're trying to not. Trying to not raise them, so.
So is there any discussion to be had on briefing and discussion of our upcoming annual fiscal budget? We need to discuss that, and the city council feel good about it.
I think we do, because we, 'cause obviously with the surplus and. We didn't have, I mean, we still had legal fees, but it wasn't what it had been in the past, right, Chris?
Correct. Yeah, we had budgeted this year for legal fees of 75.
You can just pick up there.
Um,
175 or something. If I
let's see
remember.
here. Yeah, and then we busted it down a little bit. So 75,000. And then we've spent just almost half of that as of May. So thankfully that's gone down, but we are approaching that portion. We're getting close to the 100,000 that the insurance company's been paying. There is still a little bit left in the lawsuit that those attorneys are working on, and they're filing motions and that kind of stuff right now.
We have.
No, there was the one against Corbett.
So if I understood you right, Chris,
All
we're
of them get
approaching the limit, having paid our full and. The insurance will pick up.
Correct.
100% or a portion.
So they're picking up the portion of the actual litigation and the work dealing with the litigation in court. And then our attorneys now are advising us, because now we've got Corbett, who's not an employee anymore. So we've got to have a little enmity in between us and Corbett's attorney. And so our attorneys have stepped in to act as that. They're not spending a whole lot of time on it, but we do have to have that little shield there that shouldn't be pierced. So we're doing
Well,
good,
it's not
35.
us. He's indemnified, so.
So let me understand it, so the city has to pay for all of his legal fees.
He has his own lawyer. And he's paying for those, right, Chris?
Correct.
But
Yeah.
our lawyers are also involved.
Because he was a city employee at the time. Now, if he
Yeah.
came in, if they've got some kind of smoking gun and there's something illegal that Corbett did, well, the city's indemnity won't cover that. I mean, that's just like any, if I stole money and left, the city's insurance
We
isn't
have
gonna cover.
stipulations to the indemnity, right? Like you have
Yeah.
to. If it
Gross
was,
negligence.
yeah, if you do
Gross,
something
yeah.
that. Clearly illegal or you weren't supposed to do, you obviously broke, then the city. Washington can.
Yeah.
So,
So how much have we budgeted for that?
So we had 75 this year. We've spent 35,928. For next year, the mayor kept it at 75.
And we also use it, not just for that though, like we use it for agreements with Summit Creek or different things, that need review. So there are other things that we have to use legal for. And then we have, there's always the threat, there's always a citizen or two. There's always the threat of, some future litigation, so. We want to make sure we're covered.
Yeah, the development agreement that we're working on with Summit Creek, or there's just little things here and there.
We're grateful to only have little things though. We'll take the little things, right? The other
Yeah.
one was,
Always take the little one, but
it's hard, like, cause when I say anything, you have to be really careful what you say about it all, but. The part that's public record, you can talk about the public record, but you have to be careful what you say.
so salaries and wages are going from 158 up to 182.
We did approve a raise, right, Chris?
Yeah, they're going down. You're not seeing one column in here. They were actually set about 190 something. But because Jody didn't have to work so much overtime last year, the structure of the office has changed just a little bit. Those rates are actually going down. So it went from this column right here for 2024, I think this was 190 or 192, went down to 158. But the mayor wants to put a little bit extra in case it got busy again. Something kicked up with the lawsuit, overtime happened again. And then, yeah, there's a 5% raise.
Yeah,
How come the retirement went from 78 down to 38?
We're expecting Ted to kick the bucket.
Yeah. Going
So-
with a cat in here.
So for the past,
Dying, so.
Don't say stuff like that.
the past 8 years, we had an audit 5 years ago from the Utah Retirement Systems, which is it's good retirement plans, kind of a mafioso organization. Once you're in it, you can never get out of it by state statute. So they come by and do an audit every 3 to 5 years. And they came by, did the audit a while ago and found out that employees were not being paid properly. And so we've been making up back with agreements employees had with URS, all that kind of stuff, making up prior stuff. As of September of this year, that's all going away. And so that drops this retirement down
It'll be
greatly.
caught up by then, right?
Correct. And it's all set up in the system. It's all done properly.
Still wanna keep putting it in there, though. I can give you a name to put it in.
Text me that name. I'll put it in for you.
It's the Janet Lunt retirement.
Well, everybody just text me a name.
Okay,
Now we don't want these guys to go to jail. It's
So things are healthy. It's been a good year. Before we
Alright,
built the fiber,
Oh, go ahead, Chris, sorry.
no, I was gonna say, before we built the fiber, we had a couple good years that we were able to save up. And, after 8, 9 years, the city had enough to pay cash for the fiber. And so this is one of those years, but man, those roads and some of the other things going on are in super, super dire need.
poor Maple. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a minute too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be like. Full redo.
when we do the water project, you were saying.
Yeah, we do, so we applied for that. What? That.
Like phase two of the water.
How does that look?
No, I'm working on it, it's a version of. Yeah, if we, put in the application. for the clean water,
You know,
If that was that. That, really great. Yeah. Or once. Say we have one. We have both. That is your call.
needed a new engine.
Just need to do anything, yeah, we blew up. The.
You like to be.
There, we haven't opened yet, they're just park, we're just doing it more. With stuff we do to them, so. It's just like. There might. That. Rotating these like we are.
It's really fun.
Once we get them. There's stuff we do to them. Everybody's at home with it. Everybody's small. Very. Yeah, it depends on the year, sometimes they last season, sometimes not, so you flow. So we pull them off, that, but that.
They'll put our sound off.
Where they. We've got some heated, lamps, the one valves that we bought. So we put that- That's. What. That all.
Or just turning the old ones in then.
Yeah. Yeah. Back. It's. Great.
Cause they're all leases, right? So
Yeah, at least.
I just hadn't seen them out here anywhere, so.
Yeah, we keep the new ones in the shop, we can put that, but these are the old ones out.
You're gonna need a big job.
Yeah, well, sold things, so we made some more space. The big orange cloud machine got sold, that freed up some space. Sold out the roof drive, freed up some space.
Really, that big orange one there. That. Like. How we get that,
So when we sold these, we ended up ordering a new loader. And this loader comes with a snow blower attached to it. And the only roads they really widen were Woodland Hills Drive, it's spots. Some creek spots, and I think maybe the kind of the three arteries. And so we'll kind of assess them, we go throughout the year and if any. We'll also require hydrants and small access.
Hey, Chris, will you say something so we can see if we can hear you better?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. I don't know what you did, but I could start hearing Ted again. I could just see him moving his mouth and talking, but or with his hands, but I couldn't hear him at all.
Jody fixed it. Thanks, Jody.
Yeah, it sounds much better. Thank you.
Anything on cameras, they give man,
We're getting close.
you're gonna pay any money out.
It's like I'm elected.
Yeah.
We're-
You pay for this, right?
We are so
All the
close.
cameras- We'll go back, yeah, so close. All the cameras are sent in. We're just now tweaking.
Yeah.
That's sure.
did you just flip to the camera feed, Chris?
Yeah, so this is the camera feed. This is just, we've got a wandering camera up at the top. It's called a PTZ. It actually focuses on any movement that's up in a certain geographical range. It's already caught some teenagers mucking around on the fence one night. And there was 3 of them trying to climb over and caught them, got the sheriff called. They're working great. There's just a couple little tweaks that he's making. Ted, did Ben get that trench
What's that?
did that trench get dug today?
It did, yeah, so we need to put in some conduit for one of the cameras. So we can
Okay.
run a fiber for it, and that got dug today, so yeah. Six.
Yeah, we put one over in the park too.
There are, you switch to the park ones, Chris. Got people look for it.
So who has access to the cameras? Not very many people.
No, it looks like there's a couple that might be offline. I don't know if Ben nicked something, but it looks like the park, unless they're under something else now, are they? All 3 of the parks are offline.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
This is the rotating camera right here that you see close up of the gate at the top of the water tanks. And so when it recognizes somebody, a human being, then I get notified, Ted gets notified, Jody gets notified, Lori, who else gets notified? Garrett, the sheriff, I think he's on there. And so multiple people are on, even when employees go up there and they open the gate, it notifies everybody that somebody's up there. It's,
I'll test it, I'll go up and climb on the fence, and I'll wave to you, Chris.
yeah, I got a mugshot of him today. So he was actually working. I just want to, Mayor asked if people work, so I sent him pictures. So
Got a picture of me working up there, and that's good.
I'm glad we've done this, I think it was money well spent.
yeah, it's,
We used to have access from the city center for the community. Are we still working on giving them access to the camera?
yes. So that camera is, we're having to run it through YouTube. And that was discussed today in our meeting to get that link over to, it's David Pratt and Brad, the gentlemen installing the cameras that are working on getting a live feed. So it'll be this camera again, and we're contemplating doing one at the mailboxes. The challenge with the mailboxes is it's just kind of a panoramic and people, there could be some security issues. So we don't know if we're going to be able to give that one out. But this one for sure, midway at the fire station, you can see somebody's making a mess out there.
Yeah, if we have one there and one at the park, so we can log on and say, how bad is it snowing at my house?
Yeah. Yeah, so there,
I usually just look at my driveway.
What about Summit Creek, are they putting one in there, or are they doing their own?
Summit Creek,
Yeah, we don't
they have
have
their
any in
own.
Summit Creek, right?
Yeah, they have their own. At one point, Don said he would give us access to it, but I haven't talked to Bucky or any of those guys to see if they were, I mean, it's been years and years ago.
Okay. Ted, any information on the selling of equipment status and purchasing new? Everything went through and
Yeah, everything's in motion. We sold a number of vehicles. I think we brought in, like Chris reported earlier, a little over $100,000 in sale of vehicles. Stuff using. ordered our new loader and snow blower attachment, which will be using their data queue. So,
Yeah, Ted, it might be good to give a Reader's Digest version of what's happened the past couple weeks up top to this committee.
up top on the well,
Yeah.
We spent some money.
oh, yeah,
For what?
yeah, we'll give you, I think, is that an agenda item?
Well, it says, and purchasing new on number 7.
Let me give you, yeah. So we'll give you kind of an update on some money we are spending. And so last weeks ago, Thursday, our well, went out. The motor went out. We got the pumps went out. Yeah, when we got through testing diagnosis, they called the company and come up and once actually came up and diagnosed and everything like that, we figured out it was the motor. So we had to pull the pump out of there. We've been switched over, we can pull water, we've got there's another well where they, they're disabled. We can pull water from that well. There's booster stations down here about that part of the city. We can boost it up there, that can still be city water, so that's what we've been doing. Our well went out up here, so we had to pull the pump motor out, in pulling the two things. I got the pump out. We got a new motor. It's about new motor is about $6,000. Got it put on, and there was repair work that had to be done to the pump. We didn't need a pump, but a few things to be fixed on it. And then as they put it back in, they noticed the cable. So there's this pump sits about 550 feet down in the ground, pumps water out of the well. So there's 550 feet of electrical cable comes from the pump motor up to the surface. And the cable at some point over time, during installation or just through time, rubbed a hole in the sheeting as water got in the cable. Currently, what happened to the motor, we don't know. What caused the motor to go out. So, sort of that is how to replace the cable as well. That's not cheap. Cable's about $60 a foot. So that cable for that is $36,000 plus about 30. It's hard. They found it in Oklahoma where we had to get it. So about $500. So the short of it is the pump, the motor, the cable, and everything was about 55,000, and then we paid about another 25 for the company. That about air pump.
How big is the access pole?
That's what. Pumps.
Deep well.
The deep well. One of the things we decided to do with this project in the fall, we're planning a project to, in fact, the engineering company right now working on plans to get everything done. Still a bit of work that needs to be done. For example, we have a generator stand there that's wired back generator, which we're going through this pump out of the this pump using our booster station. Boost water to the tank, and you might remember that right. Power boosters. So I had a message, no power, no wake up water. We had about 3/4 of the tank of water. I was on text messaging with Jody, telling her get ready to send a message out to the community to start conserving water because we may only have to serve tank depending on power. Luckily, they got power back on in a few hours and we were able to off our tank. Which was the first year. The second one was Saban called me about 11:30 that night and they said we haven't been able to get our well. It's tank and we get water there. And we haven't been able to get their well up running because power plant there. So there at night. We have two chairs at night.
Well,
One tank, 2 wells, right?
Well, so we have one well, one tank up at we call it Rock Hall here. There's a tank and a well over in Maple Canyon. We own 40% of that, saving on 6 years. They operate. So if we don't get water here, and well, we're in Maple Canyon, we can take water. But technically, we have one bars and we have 40% share. That we. So we had a few scares through that weekend.
The generator, is it a from natural gas?
These. But we was. And we have feedback. Anyway, so but we got everything as of actually today. But now that we looked up, it's working. I haven't put it into the system yet because I have to do some quality testing first. But short of it is, it costs about 90,000.
That was a hit to our budget.
Except it came out of savings. Right, pay for that, we're.
You have our water enterprise savings.
Yeah.
Chris, is that right? You have our water enterprise.
Yeah, and depending where we get the bills, we haven't used, and I was thinking about this last night, Janet, after you asked me that question. So we have 1.4 in the savings. And which is thankfully that we got that money. Thankfully, the city council's got that set up. The other thing is we didn't spend as much on the maintenance this year either. So we might be able to take some out of our general budget and not tap into savings as much.
Out of curiosity, how long had that pump been in there? What's the average life of pump for budgetary purposes?
That's two loaded questions.
Yeah. It varies. I generally have told, because part of my private consultant life before I came for the city. Pump stations is one thing that I have a lot of. And I would always tell my son every 10 years, you should look to either rehab the pump, take it out, put it in, redo the mold, or redo the windings, or replace it every year. So ours been in for about 8 years. So we'll really expect it, but I think there was some issues with it, with the stuff we had. But it wasn't far off. Submersible pump, this is called submersible pump because it actually sits down in the water as well. We do have one of the things we did with this or this project. We've got a new pump and motor sitting in well. The bigger so we pump water with it. We're working on a project right now in DJ country to upgrade the well house station. That upgrade will include putting this new bigger motor in. We have to upgrade our upsides things like that as well. Because once the electrical have to be upgraded, we're running 3-phase power to the well. Sure it is when we put this new cable in. We just put in cable in large enough. The stuff that's in there with size. New bigger cable. And either way, it's capable of costs either now or the other. Let's just be now, but a smaller cable than that.
Has the city ever thought of budgeting for an additional well?
Good question. Not yet, but that's could be coming. So going through our master plan. Once we upgrade this well here, we'll be able to probably support the growth of the community up to about 2040-ish. 2045, and then if we have still 40% of that Salem well, it basically takes 2 billion out of what our community could build through those 2 wells.
Yeah, which would we have tons of water, but you have to have the water rights.
And we've got tons of water rights. We've got plenty of water rights.
Plenty of water rights, so we could drill well.
We could drill well if we needed to. Right now, since we've got 2 sources, and we'll have plenty of water out of multiple sources for quite a few years. I don't know if it's a project, maybe a long-term 20-year project.
Broad Hollow, like when they did, it wasn't that long ago that they re-drilled that. Was it brand new when they did that? I mean, we had just
It
moved
was.
in. But
But
it- okay,
did they hit a lake or? It's pretty good, so we pump about 750 gallon minute out right now, and we put this new pump motor in, we'll be getting about 1100 gallon. We're the hydrogeologists that we work with.
Interesting because the whole water of that mountain. Goes that way, down the Benny Creek.
well, we're, how, it's, you said 500 feet? Oh,
That's about 600. Opposite about that.
so
They
they,
got a good act,
yeah, we've got a good aquifer.
really, that's good water.
But I remember when they were drilling because. You know, where I live, on Broad Hollow. We had all our windows closed and everything, and we couldn't even hear the TV in our family. Because when they were drilling, it was so loud. And then it just reeked of diesel fuel. The smell of diesel fuel kind of just, it just crawled down the mountain. If we had the windows open, and our house would just get filled with the smell of diesel fuel. I remember having to call Wendy and say, you gotta do something, like, or we're gonna have to move for a week until you finish, because like, we're going crazy. You know, you go to work all day, you come home at night and it was just, there was something that they were doing that was. It ended up being like some gasket they had to replace, but it was so loud. That we were sitting in our family room, we couldn't hear, we turned the TV way up, we couldn't hear it, because it was so loud in our bathroom.
That's better having a gravel pit next to you when they're using.
Yeah, well, it was short term, like we knew it was short term, it just was, it was like, oh my word, how much longer is this gonna take?
Water.
I know, it was worth it.
So with that new development, the golf was gonna be pretty exciting for you.
3 bridges.
Yeah, for your business, how, what impact is that gonna have on?
Um,
They have plenty of water over.
We won't supply any water, say it's well. They kind of. They're kind of very city water. Works.
They're digging. They started.
Yeah. So that was, yeah, that was the project, that was
I think they just broke some ground so they could say they broke ground. Not my opinion.
People with solar.
Yeah,
See what,
Even a friend told me that. Someone high up in Salem City, that they're still doubtful that they have all the financing that they need to actually get it done, so. We'll see, like, they're still skeptical, Salem is even skeptical that it'll all come together. So, we'll see,
the case that $1 million right?
yeah,
Some freaking thing.
well, and they're, I mean, a little iffy and. Kudos to Ted, did you guys even know that all that was going on with our water? Did you know, turn on your faucet and
The
everything?
only thing I saw. Not to do the outside one.
That was that, and that power went out, we had all power to be out. Turned out party.
We were in a shop,
Oh, well, so you never felt the rip.
so we never got the message until probably a day later.
Hmm,
Out of it.
Yes, well, my sprinkler system was on, so he didn't help you.
yeah, it's all good,
It worked out fine. The reason they sent that out is because the power went out and the initial report that came out from the power company, the probably gave me like. So we were expecting to be up for 6 to 8 hours. Or Kate will last. They had a couple hours. And they're able to get back in.
So we did that get done.
It does. So the tank will go from 0 to 23 feet. How much water it holds. And it got down to. Normally what happens is we can control this. It's all on. Essentially. Through the SCADA system, so if we could set on SCADA, I could set a pump on and a pump off. The pump on, I usually set at 15 feet, so the pump will come on, the tank is 50 feet, start filling the tank, and at 23 feet, it's just a pump off. What happens, I woke up that because I checked the SCADA everywhere to see where I got that where it was tank for 14 feet, I didn't get large, and the pump was on. Actually gone. So But down here, check it out. There, that's, you've got air that says it's. That's what kind of started the whole thing, and then panic, because then we get a booster going, the whole thing. What we found out, we learned a bunch through this process, what we found out is the, booster pumps didn't work automatically, or well does. So about 4 days, I was going down there most of the day at night. You could take full. And yeah, and it seemed like they always filled up by 3 in the morning. But now they're 3 in the morning, pump off, then run back up at 6 in the morning, turn back on, whenever we start watering. But I worked with the skating company and got it for its, that booster skater.
This is a hidden gem up here. Oh, we all appreciate it, because I grew up on this mountain as a young boy, right before stuff through here. Whoever thought that water up in there? Would have water.
It's not up in there, it's 600 feet down.
Yeah, but it's still, the smart thing, I think that Woodland Hill did was put the well. in.
It's interesting where you find aquifers can be in a lot of places. You think, well, if we go, oh, damn, get water, it goes deep. Not necessarily true. It's based on fractures. If you've got some big fractures in the geology, now it's in cold water, like almost like the underground reservoir.
But on a fraction, for front of my house.
We've got some. It's not me for earthquake later.
Yeah.
We drove.
Yeah, we have a fault line right behind our house. I think maybe that you're on the same,
I think I'm on the same fault.
you're on the same fault line as I am, yeah.
Monty that says if it comes.
And then, did you guys hear about the brownout, the power brownout? Did you see that notification? Okay. I just thought I'd bring it up.
And the next day, we had power outage in the church.
Well, and then, yeah, and then last night too.
We figured out.
What's it?
It's the church is going bad.
Oh,
Just broken since the electricity went down. Opened up the panel. So time went it off.
we were sitting in a separate meeting in Parker Room and giving his homecoming talk, and all of a sudden, like it all just shut down.
And Barton still didn't get a hit. He said, okay, well, I'll just keep going, even though it is 10:28, 11:28.
But that it's time, and then he stopped for like 12 more, 15 more minutes. I was like, yeah. But. Anyway,
All right, do we have any, I don't think we have any public on.
no, we should talk about. I don't know, any upcoming needs, what else? Is there anything that the finance committee can help you with, like, as far as like, if we need. Maybe a generator,
So maybe a couple things we're thinking about is coming up. One thing we learned through this whole power outage, we don't have a great backup generation, power generation. Now with this well, so the well project, you start thinking about it, so the well project up here, we're gonna finish up the well. There is probably about. Well, we're gonna run finish running 3-phase power. It's been started. We're gonna finish on 2-phase power there, put a new drive in, get new VFD, new pumping motor. We have to upsize the pipe in the well because the more flow, their pipe valves. We're gonna upgrade that. We're just gonna finish the chlorination room needs to be rebuilt a little bit to state code. We're gonna rebuild that. Do some painting of the floors and walls to make have decent there. And so anyway, that's a project we're working on right now that engineers decided. But I think we're gonna be after putting some pavement on the access road. One of my fears is that this happens. That road. So we're gonna look at maybe. I can't wait till everybody got with their driveways being greater than 15%. Look at that. Yeah. You can have that.
So you're talking about right up Deep Forest.
Right about it.
Paving it all.
Yeah, we got it from Hulls. Oops. That one is next, that was juicy, but the one up there, we have an easement dedicated, that's actually.
So with that, you could probably, that snowblower, keep it open.
That's the plan, yeah, so we can have access. Right now, there, so we have to go every time we take readings.
You're on.
We have to get on we have to get on the floor, the tracks, to make it up there. And if we ever had a big rain up there to fix the pump during the winter, we would. The guys that fixed our pump, they were kind of talking today, they're the ones, they say about that pump issue, I think it's last one or 2 years ago with theirs. They spent 3 days with cats. Their road in there. That was like, yeah. So I would like to try and get sure improved a little bit better. So we can keep clear.
We budgeted for that this year. Yeah.
So that one. Talk about that, plus we've got that ARPA money that we haven't spent yet, that's we spent money in a year. So those things we're looking at, now if we can't afford to do a road this year, then pick that up project and see what budget comes in. One of those, we have a generator, it's, but it has been. Yeah, well, in 2020, they just sat it there, yes, and under its work, so. But it has been hooked up, so we're gonna hook it up as part of the project, and so we have backup generator there, but. Also, does it make sense to have backup generator here too? That's an backup generator here, for the power went out, the booster station down here. Has been built so we can plug a generator into the power. We have a generator on wheels sitting there. I think Chris was probably the closest on it today when he said it's probably bought off Okinawa at 1940 or something like. When the power went out, me and one of our other residents were down there going through a transfer. We get started to plug in it. Cables were broken, batteries were dead, fuel's probably been in there out. Anyway, it's not great. So we're looking at maybe having something look at it, possibly getting rid of that one. So we have a mobile backup generator that we use here or there at the booster station. So I don't know for this building, that's what we got to figure out. The booster station, the pumps down there are 100 horsepower. And they usually say your conversion is 75%. So maybe 75. Might get a mobile one, but this building here, I think they run this down.
But is this like buying one of those generators that we see that the people rent and use at festivals and things like that? You know, come buy expense and they're getting rid of it, or buy them like is it expense contractor to use?
Yeah, something like those big ones there that would have capability of plugging it. This building is 8 foot generator. Which pump station has like basically a big plug, a big cable off the generator, you run the big plug, flip the switch on your power breaker that takes it from your line. So really beautiful investment. A generator could be future need will have. Well, the project may definitely be a great to get done up there. To get that all that generator. That project is probably going to be fairly a little bit expensive. I don't have to feel that have to figure out the needs there.
The essential need here would be what, mostly for fire. The fire trucks, I think.
So, yeah, so one of the issues we have here, I mean, where this kind of came up is the power down.
Can't open the bay door.
Count the big doors. And so you have to manually open them, no big doors, not easy to manually open. So. What we do now is the power goes out, if someone's around, they can open them, they can just leave them open. We have. How does somebody open it if the power? You can, like a garage door at your house, they've got the whole. You guys have farm stood it up.
Yeah, right, to lift it.
It's not something that there's still some reservoir power that you can hurry and say electrically open and then you go. So they have manually lit them.
Right. Yeah, and these ones are tricky because you can't, just like their home one. If you've done that one before, you can put it up and then just hit your button, the power comes on, and it automatically clicks back in the zone pretty fast. So you have to get down the ladder, go up there, you have two people in, and get the boat just the right place, the other one hold the hook on the hook at the end. So. Anyway, that's one thing. I mean, just keep power if we need this as an emergency center. Eventually we'll have our sirens hooked up here. We're still working on that. Hopefully we
So we need
have
to do
to
that.
power from sirens.
You know,
And then Jody was trying to make some, post some stuff like on the city website and stuff and couldn't, cause you know, didn't have internet or.
I think it's good forward thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
There, and they did talk about, like, I guess the county has some emergency generators, but if it was a county, say it was something that was a county-wide emergency. We're not gonna be a priority, right? Like, we would be out of luck. And so we need to not count on that. We need to plan.
Yeah.
To protect us.
Power outage is pretty widespread.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Nephi got hit,
All through.
Spanish,
that room 3 out here.
yeah.
All had their own power.
Well, it's not your own power, it was the grid,
Why not?
because,
They don't.
well, but I mean, you've got SCSD, Rocky Mountain. Power, Basin City Power, Spanish City Power, they're all different power providers in that thing, and everybody was that.
Well, SCFP gets it from, right? They get their-
Also,
their-
yeah, there's
They,
some-
they use their transmission lines to deliver it. And so
Oh,
Rocky
okay.
goes down. Yeah, and we might buy it from them. I'm sure we, but yeah.
Rocky Mountain, is gonna have a huge power line up through Soldier Summit. Here we're probably gonna put a look at. You-
Yeah, so we just wanna be prepared.
Work some of these, I mean. Been saving some money for a while. And water's always been a good priority. for us.
Hundred Road,
Yeah, we went and bought some of those. Yeah,
The big blue,
so, well, they're bigger, they're bigger.
they're under my, those three.
Yeah, I've got- like 4 of the 50.
You know,
Under $500 piece of those. Margin, right? I haven't heard yet.
Taylor said they got put more in there, by the pool.
Ken Hebert made the best point, and I listened to him, he said, those 200-gallon things, you know, you think are great. But what happens if you need water somewhere other than where it's at, you can't move it. So I just bought a bunch of 5-gallon ones that I've got stacked. And so I can move them around to each faucet, things like that.
these big ones, well, they have a spout up.
Yeah. Yeah, you can run.
There's one hose, right? As opposed to I just go put a blue bucket or a blue tube, you know, at each faucet in the house. Should have happened.
And to that point, when Texas, you know, when they had their big thing and they. Their car went out, it was like a year ago, but the one guy said, the thing that he learned is you need buckets. Because you need buckets to haul water, you need buckets, you know what I mean? He was saying like the things I learned that I didn't have that you need. One of them was bucket, cause it rained and the water was coming off the roof and they could pass for that and use it for their. Or whatever, but they needed buckets to capture it. And he was just saying that was something I never thought needing in an emergency, but you need buckets.
I had to change a valve in my shower in the basement. Just left. When I turned the water off, to get it drained down to where it wouldn't stop spraying. All the water,
Yeah. I learned that hard way on our side too.
but there was a lot of water before that came in.
So,
All right,
anyway,
Like a few cash or something.
okay. I know where most of the
650,000 gallons, so. I think it'd be better. You guys are.
and key that it's a hydrant.
No cider. Yeah, lots of.
like here's a hydrant.
Yeah.
I think he,
I have.
I don't range.
You got the top range. So we're talking about, that what they call it, speed.
Yeah. I also have one of those,
So water main bring down the tank and a lot of it.
I have one of those like commercial.
Capacity on their shelf out, deep. Whatever the height people can have it, I'll keep it.
Okay,
Me and my family was, you know, here, right there.
Yeah. You'll be good to go.
yeah, there'd be plenty of water there for you. There's no public comment. What about our next meeting? And what's-
I think that's West Sloper. West Sloper, the road, yeah, good question, that was actually, we are opening contract for bids on Monday for that one. And then we'll have a final choice of what's gonna cost for repair. So we put it out to bid about 2.5 weeks ago. And contracted, gets you on Monday, one bid okay here, and then we'll have. Possibly, and the deadline is to have it planned out. in November. Just get that ready.
Yep.
And, at one point, Summit Creek didn't have the money to pay for their portion of it, but they've really done all of the grading and new roads, including West Loper as it wraps around, so.
So there's a couple things there, Summit Creek, rather than. The short of, they're giving the city money. They're just gonna say, you guys handle the project, let's. So that's what they're doing, is they're just giving us time to get. Manage the project.
Well, this is that little short road that all comes off your drive over to,
Loaf. Yeah, so if they create a.
well, I don't know.
It's gonna.
Yeah. The one that goes up the other direction off of Summit Creek Drive up the elementary, that one, that. That's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drove that loop the other day. Just to see if they just barely started to grade it, no, they've got graded all the way up, and then paved the loop.
Oh, Bear Hollow. You have Bear Hollow.
I don't know any of the roads are, but
The one that goes down next Creek Drive, just go man.
it's,
Yeah, Bear Hollow, so that is the city street. Some Creek as part of some development, we have them reach finish it. So it's them that's paying for that, and they are contracted, you know, we've been inspecting it. Yeah, it's almost done, they're now just waiting for the gas company. To come in for the gas line. Inside the, inside ditch.
and do they own the lots on either side of that?
Some. They're all, I think there's a few of them, they're private people, they.
And I think maybe the city ought to consider investing in some good signage for exit. In the city. I don't know if people really know where. We have major fire coming through here. That's very.
Yeah, we've actually just so,
We've closed a few of them down.
we've pulled it.
See, I don't think the city's.
It's free budget. They can't come on with, no, they way. So
From our way of fire.
the way we handled that is, we were having some, like the one that goes off down into Walker King. They're Shannon, they're, that's because you're right.
I chose that one.
And the problem they were having is people thought that was a trail. So they were getting ATVs and hikers and dog walkers.
People came and played on their
Yeah.
playground with
They
them.
come play on their walking yards like that, so ultimately what they, we agreed to the Shanto, we would not designate it as emergency access. We would take the sign down, but that we will keep our easement and we keep it open. So if we do need this there, we're not. Yeah, we're gonna allow them. We do that. They can't.
What you're saying, and we really can't.
System.
So the reason that one was built, and then there's one over off in the there. There's actually, there's two of them go off Maple Drive over the three bridges. One of them will remain. That's gonna remain, so yeah, but they're mediated, but remain. And it's,
Well, court, that goes into Three Bridges.
right, and part of the agreement is that will remain as commercial. So they're gonna actually design the road right up to that gate. Still be a gate there, and then we'll have a version, so in emergency, we can pop the gate. And still get out that direction we need to.
Kind of like Salem. As that 600 south was where It looked like we could go through, but you never could because they just had a gate blocking it, and now it's a one-way road, it goes through there, the south, and put into that. I put the old elementary school. Yeah, so it'll be something, and then there's another one down lower. Too. But honestly, that road was in such bad shape, I mean. And we were getting all the out spotters, but that one, same thing, you come up, there's yards. And we're getting all the old people spotting up there and they. Yeah. They would hit that road up for 4 years, it's bad, I mean, not very patched. Same thing, we let a big receipt side down, road's still there. The reason those were built when the only route out. Yeah. I think that we're acting with them. People. Right,
That road over depth. That was a.
but are you maintaining Shannon Road? So, does that need to be used?
Well, he has a driveway and the agreement is that if there's a fire in that ravine that we have full access. That's the agreement.
That's it, right. That's it.
Well, if we needed
Concrete drive.
to use it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
But not
Yeah, but you would have
drive down it.
moved out and Shannon moved in. I used to drive that. I loved it because my kids had friends over that bridge. It was yeah, also here everything's around it. And I'm like, see, I used to do and pretty easy. You know, it's not a good road, and it's just even it's not even our property like that. It goes through other. So the lower mountain. Yeah,
We don't, we have 600 acres, it's not.
yeah, there's a, so we do, so when you come out of Shannon, we own a little piece of property right there, so yeah. And then once you get towards the bottom half of that. It's not. Even-
So, you know,
Long way.
Okay, yeah.
Long way, you're right, yeah.
no,
Operation.
Yeah.
What do I know?
then at next meeting, what do we need, Janet, from a city council standpoint? I'm not sure we're contributing a whole bunch here, so.
Well, it's hard because I did think about that today, you know, when I was thinking about the meeting tonight. These things that have come up have kind of been emergencies, and so we haven't.
I think forward thinking though, and we can help in any of that.
I think maybe, you know, Ted, we could get some information and help with maybe figuring out, you know, the generator situation for the city building or. It. I don't know, some of the preparedness, we have our group, what do they call it's. Yeah, the Be Ready Woodland Hills, I don't know if they have some things for the community that. You know, we'll need some, I don't know what they talk about. What is that? I don't know.
Separate, we see.
It is
Yeah.
separate, but I don't know if there's like things that the city needs, I don't, you know, other than. Just what we talked about here tonight.
Well, I think part of the purpose of getting to is just to. Make sure we're spending the money where
Wise.
wisely should.
And we have other white.
As we talk about this project, the well project, the road project, and stuff like this, you guys are. You know, making sure we're spending up. If you have other ideas, or think other things are important, let us know. You better spend some of this. Spending it.
It's too bad they couldn't have seen the roads presentation. That actually would have been really good for you guys to have seen.
Mark did that one.
No, it was engineering company. They got to pay it back. That was a city council, so we could just go watch the recording.
Yes, do it. It was at the very first, you don't have to watch the whole meeting, and it was actually a really short meeting. But they have it's AI, they have a program, they went and they drove all the roads and they rated them based on good, poor, very poor, all it's color coded. Fascinating. It shows where all of just everything on the roads and
So they use it technology now for pavement, it's called pavement management plan, they use AI, they basically drove all of our roads both directions. And they have a camera that sits on the front, you take a picture every 10 feet. Say that. And then every 10 feet of that road gets assessed based on 15 period. And then it gets a score to the entire road based on this assessments at every 10 feet, and it looks at cracks. It assesses it, so
It's like the street.
well, and it kept
kept
it kept so we know now where all the signs are and what condition they're in.
Yeah, that's right, but that's how it's a payment, and then it gets the score. And based on that score of the road, you can then decide what kind of treatment it should get. And then once you decide what kind of treatment it should get, then there's a cost that gets applied to it. And so for every road in the city we now have what it should be treated with, and how much it's gonna cost to be. And also now, and we've also now put in the years. Break it down. Break it down so we can.
Well, that's good, thinking on all of that, because it, a lot of it. Some.
I think if we can get, if we can get the grant for the water project, again, then I think we'll want to oversee some of that and just kind of watch the budgets and stuff like that too. We've kind of been in a lull, I think, of things going on, and then the things that have been kind of emergency things.
We're in the planning phase, we have to step back and. Step back to. We're doing the right things at the right time. Asset plan, tax. So building that plan.
One thing I've noted, and maybe something to look at in the future, is runoff in the city. Because we get a lot of different problems.
The good stormwater management plan is one of the things I've got.
Broad Hollow, it's bad coming up to Broad Hollow under Woodland Hills Drive, so that's part of the study.
Yeah, that's one of the major problems is, that's what I was thinking right there, and then some other areas.
We got some grant money from FEMA a couple of years ago to do a stormwater management plan, and the engineering firm is just about done with that. And it kind of tells us where our major problems. Figure out siting and stuff, and basically, this is more about holistic. It doesn't look specifically at every street to do this street. This is looking at a citywide runoff and how do we manage our water within a city.
But I noticed a lot of times the city will put in dirt into where the runoff is, and first storm is washed out.
All the ground.
You gotta get something different there, which will.
Actually, right outside, right out my driveway, I can't walk on the road, like I'll fall because of all the gravel. You know what I mean? Like you walk and you try to avoid the gravel, but if I've got, it doesn't matter really. I mean, unless I have tennis shoes on, if I hit the ground, like.
It's not public pavement.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just on the road. It's just because it's so steep and then the gravel. It's just kind of treacherous. But I feel like we haven't had any big projects for a while. So I'm sure. This committee hasn't had so much to do because.
Well, I think right up Woodland Hill Drive, maybe. Back at Woodland Hill. There's, that's where I'm thinking about that too. The channel where it's been carved in the dirt. Yeah.
Yeah, when was it? When they had to take the backhoe and
Yeah, just below Shoemaker's house and.
they had to kind of fix all that because it got really bad. And even the road underneath the road and then the road started to fall away again.
Yeah. Problems I'm referring to, so.
Yeah, we
Sounds like you're thinking.
we looked at some grants. We looked at there was a grant, we didn't get it, but you kind of like the trail. On the property, but then we would be able to possibly like have a culvert or something there too, you know, underneath for water. But we didn't get that, we didn't get the grant, so.
Which one?
The one that was it was like a trail one to do the little path along Woodland Hills Drive. Or we talked about maybe we could put like some kind
You
of,
did get a grant for your trail study.
yeah, it was good.
Here's a fun.
Jeremy Searle got that one for us, right?
Rating, like pavement and everything, Springville City. So we're in the process of building a new clinic in Springville. We finally got. Three-year moratorium. We've been talking to you for 12 months on this project, getting everything lined up. We're just now bringing it up. If we don't have this done in a week, then we can't build this building for 3 more years. Like, how many times do cities pave roads and then 2 weeks later come in and cut them up because they forgot something? No way, we're letting this stop. Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of cities will get kind of, you got as that same thing, and you road is great one.
Wow.
That's just, yeah, we should. But I mean, I watched this on Summit Creek and where, whatever road that is, that goes on the opposite side of Willow Reed down into Ridgeview. When they put the brand new road, and then literally just weeks after they get the brand new road in, then they come and.
Cut out the manhole covers and stuff.
Well, not just metal covers, but like, frankly, across it or cut a big portion of the side of it, which is what's currently up right there on Ridgeview or Summit Creek. You think about it, when Four Seasons got put in, they put a brand new surface all the way down through there. And now you look at how goofy and tough it is all the way along.
All right, anything else? Can we set a date for our next meeting?
Yeah,
What would you suggest?
I would skip July. And it would be,
You wanna wait till August?
Once we are in the budget approval process, do we need to have any more input in that before or after?
I think the budget,
Here's what do you need us for?
As far as the budget, Aaron, that's pretty much done. The council voted on it, and since we're not doing a truth and taxation, it'll be set for a while unless some big major things come up.
So our next meeting is just follow up in general, there's not any big specific things we're having.
I don't see anything specific today. Tomorrow's another day.
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we haven't, it's like we're in the middle of a big project or anything right now.
We will have some coming up as far as the payment managed Microsoft type stuff, the web. Recent things coming up. I think it's always good to be.
What about
And
the one,
information you guys, we should get.
That's a really good question, but things to think about.
what about the water phases? Need to go phase 2 and we've completed phase 1.
Now we phase 1, phase 2, we're waiting to find out if that money. And that do.
Now,
We've got about 8 miles left of. So about, I think the better 3.5.
1,000 Oaks has bigger one.
It's got the HPPC stuff, most of it on this side of the town. And we get a spring that your sold 68 cast iron pipe instead of 70.
It's a lot of money now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's about, if you redo the road with it, it's about $1 million.
$1 million a mile.
Well, tell them how much that piece of road between Summit Creek and Haskell Park.
I'm guessing you gotta have one.
are you talking $1 million? replacing a water line and then replacing.
Right. When we did this 4 miles water line project a few weeks ago. It cost us 4 miles.
It's probably more, yeah, right?
It's probably, what we have here is probably close.
Okay,
Price is actually been holding very cool. There, construction. Inflation. It's faster, but now.
Well, maybe I'll suggest this, that I'll stay in communication with Chris on this, and if there's anything pending, we'll plan that probably for September,
unless we need one sooner,
unless we need one.
I think that's a good plan.
What date did you say?
Today's Wednesday, right? So we plan a Wednesday and
Chris, he said maybe we'll do September unless something comes up sooner and we need to have a meeting sooner.
we could do September 11th and. Then and
Oh.
So-
Did you hear my?
Kind of turning.
It's because it's 2 days before Woodland Hills Day, but that's okay.
Oh,
Look good with that.
Let's do the week after. Is that all right?
the week after, when's Woodland Hills Days?
The 13th and 14th.
Okay, let's do it the 18th.
Is that okay? I can. I think I'll be a little stressed. Okay,
Will you be here on the 18th, Ted? Cause I think you're. a Key person.
yeah, it's got,
You are spending most of the money. You guys just keep making sure I'm spending it okay.
what do I say to you? Every council meeting I have to approve something, what do I say?
You know, I'm spending, well, remember what Chris's reports were for the first 4 or 5 months of council? We're not spending a lot, we're doing great, we're planning, well, now it's time to spend.
Now he keeps coming and asking for money to do work.
Yeah, we've been saving money, but now I'm ready to start spending.
The question. They cut a whole bunch of limbs up by, trees up by the,
Mitigation basin, that was our. So we had quite a thing,
went back, they go,
we will be.
you have a place you're gonna throw all those pictures.
If you're speaking for chips, I can put you on the list. When you talk about find a list, I've written map.
Right, but my house is
They just bring
the whole
below.
life, pretty bad.
So how about we can turn it lower back?
Are you like, who was it? Was it?
You can put it on the community page and see if anyone have any, you want to get rid of and,
My wife did that and no one responded,
oh,
because we were looking for some. And no one responded. Last year we did that and people, we had some response, couldn't get them. This year she did it again, because she went, they don't seem to be even there.
I think it's, somebody else supposed to do it, I think they better come get them. You could ask if,
Yeah, I've already had people ask if they can back their truck up with the chipper and,
About why they did that. And it blew it back then.
I was gonna say. Blow down no, this is some of the people that are heating, so. Yeah.
there'll be a motion.
Yeah, I will make the motion to it. Second, all in favor, yeah.
Bye. Meeting's adjourned. You can keep visiting, I just thought,
We will be doing more activity in the fall, but.
I'll see you
Are
guys.
gonna do it for the whole city?
thanks, bye Chris.
For the whole